Okay, this is the 7th tape in Practicing Computer Shorthand, and it covers study frames 91 through 115. Okay, frame 91 is final LP, and what I do with this stroke is just to omit the L. So in the word gulp, I would write G-U-P, gup. Some people attach the P, but I find it a little objectionable to use two strokes to write a one-syllable word. So again, that's, it's just a matter of personal preference. Okay, the words. Gulp, help, scalp, yelp. Okay, frame 92 is final MT or MENT, and this is, in my opinion, one of the handiest strokes there is, because it's very accessible and it just comes up really often in our particular language. So the words are argument, cement, comment, deferment, easement, element, endowment, implement, judgment, movement, pavement, payment, placement, shipment, testament, treatment. Okay, frame 93 is final Y. Boy, by, day, dry, fly, guy, lay, may, my, say, try, way. Okay, the next frame is 94, final MP, and there's just a little to say about this outline too. Again, I find it a little bit objectionable to have to use two strokes to write one-syllable words, so I generally try not to do that. However, with this sound, I found that I couldn't eliminate either the M or the P without producing really quite a lot of conflicts. So what I do is just repeat the M. I define it as B-U-M-M. So I just strike on a second M there and define that as bump, as in the first example there. So whatever is, your preference though, of course. Okay. Bump, clamp, clump, dump, jump, limp, lump, pump, slump, stamp, thump. Okay, frame 95 is final FL. Baffle, muffle, raffle, riffle, rifle, scuffle, shuffle, stifle, trifle. Okay, frame 96 is final Z. And if you're left-handed, you might possibly find this an obnoxious reach to make, so a lot of times you can substitute S and get away with that, so maybe that might be helpful. Okay, amaze, blaze, booze, doze, freeze, froze, gauze, gaze, graze, haze, and that's 10 words. Prize, seize, size. Okay, frame 97 is final S, and there are a lot of these because this is very common sound in language. Access, across, advice, base, boss, case, cease, chase, choice, dose, and that's 10 words. Dress, efface, face, glass, grass, guess, house, less, loss, mace, miss, nice, notice, office, once, pace, pass, police, press, price. Okay, frame 98 is final, a little more final S and some final CE, which will sound exactly the same. Race, slice, stress, trace, twice, unless, us, vice, voice, and this is a brief for the word is. Okay, frame 99 is final RSE or final RCE. Adverse, coerce, coarse, diverse, endorse, inverse, nurse, purse, reverse, source, worse, yours. Okay, frame 100 is final NSE or NCE. If you tend, because of the weaker ring finger, to drag in the G, you can define that error, or you can just train yourself to read through it when you're looking at your notes. Okay. Dense, expense, glance, hence, license, once, ounce, rinse, and that's 10 words, sense, since, stance, tense. Okay, frame 101 is final PSE. And again, if you tend to drag in the B or the G, just to find that error or learn to read through it. Okay. Collapse, eclipse, ellipse, glimpse, lapse. Okay, and just to make a note about the word glimpse, I would just leave off the M on that. I would write it GLIPS. so you don't have to use 2 strokes on that. Okay, frame 102 is final LSE, and again I prefer to eliminate the L on this, so I would just write that because for myself I tended to drag in the G on it and it just was very distracting, so I would write else just ES. Okay, but again that's your preference. If that stroke works for you as LS, you know, then you would do that instead. Okay, else, pulse, false. Okay, frame 103 is final SP, clasp, cusp, gasp, grasp, rasp. Okay, frame 104 is final ST, best, east, fast, first, guest, host, just, last, least, list, and that's 10 words, lost, most, trust, worst. And just a note, I personally sometimes use this ST because it's a convenient stroke for me. I use it for the word does in phrases, so it might be something you'd want to consider for yourself. Okay, frame 105 is final SK, and this is again the same stroke as you'll see. Ask, brisk, desk, disc, frisk, mask, risk, task. Okay, frame 106 is final G. Okay, bag, beg, big, dig, dog, dug, fog, jog, keg, lag, and that is 10 words. Leg, log, rig, rug, tag. And also just note here that I personally use this outline for the word go in phrases such as I go. Okay, frame 107 is final shun. This is also a suffix, so there's a little more on that in the suffix chapter. Okay, the words. Ambition, caption, caution, deletion, addition, ideation, ignition, mention, motion, nation, and that is 10 words. Option, position, question, solution, station, volition. Okay, frame 108 is final B. Cab, fib, grab, hub, jab, job, mob, pub, rib, slab, tab, web. Okay, and this stroke is also used as a word, a brief for the word be, and been. You can use it HB for had been, so sometimes you can use it for been as well. Okay, frame 109 is final CK. Back, black, check, clock, crack, dock, knock, lock, neck, pick, and that is 10 words. Rack, shock, slick, stack, stick, stuck, truck, wreck. And this stroke is also used as a brief for the word can. Okay, frame 110, final CTION. Action, auction, diction, election, faction, fiction, friction, junction, reaction, section, suction, okay, frame 111 is final R, air, bar, car, door, fair, far, fear, gear, here, her, and that is 10 words, hour, incur, nor, hour, rear, where, year. Okay, frame 112 is final TIOUS, and again there's also a little bit more on this in the suffix chapter, a shortcut that you might find useful. Okay, ambitious, cautious, conscientious, fictitious, infectious, licentious, pretentious. Okay, frame 113 is final SH, bash, brush, cash, clash, crash, crush, dash, dish, flash, fresh, and that is 10 words. Gash, gosh, harsh, mash, mush, push, rash, rush, slash, slosh, slush, smash, stash, trash, wish. And I personally also use this stroke as a brief for the word should in phrases. Okay, frame number 114, final DS. I actually personally don't use this stroke too much because I built up my D key, and so it makes it a little inconvenient to hit. And also I don't mind doing the attached ending of AEZ for the plural. Some people do not like that though. So if you prefer to do the DS, you know, certainly that works for a lot of people too. Okay. Deeds, heeds, embeds, meds, needs. And some people also use this DZ as a brief for the dollar notation. So that's a useful use of that stroke. Okay, frame 100 and 115 is final TIOS. Again, I don't use this one as much because I built up my T, and I don't mind attaching a plural ending. Again, some people prefer not to do that, so a TS could be very useful for you if that's your preference. Okay. So this is rather a long list, but this is the final frame for this tape. So abates, abets, absolutes, abuts, allots, assets, awaits, budgets, chats, clots, computes, creates, cuts, dates, debates, disputes, emits, estates, executes, exits, facets, fits, gets, greets, heats, hits, imputes, inmates, its, juts, limits, lots, meets, merits, mutes, negates, notes, offsets, omits, pockets, rates, remits, resolutes, roots, ruts, shots, statutes, streets, suits, tablets, units, updates, vets, visits, votes, weights, writs. And this is also, some people use this TS outline as a brief for the word does. Okay, this completes this 7th dictation tape for practicing computer shorthand. Practice hard and keep those fingers flying.